Chords, also called triads, Triads. Tri as in like tricycle or triangle, meaning three. So it's literally a combination of three notes played together. Going back to the C scale that we did in the last tutorial and just going up the notes from C over the octave, the 8 notes. If we give every note, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, if we give every one of those notes a number, you always count the note you start on as number 1, always. So normally when you're counting, you probably go from here and you go 1, 2, 3, and so on. But no, this C here, number 1, then D is 2, E, F, G, A, B, C would be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's how we get the octave. The 8, oct means 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And essentially that's the C major scale, going from C up to C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. To build a chord or a triad, just to show you what the difference between what people call a harmony and what people call chords or a triad. A harmony is any 2 or more notes played together. It's mainly 2 notes forms a harmony. So if I was to play these 2 notes, for instance, you can hear, or these 2, or these 2. Some harmonies sound good, some don't. So 2 or more notes played together. A chord, triad, but in particular, is when you play 3 notes. A triad is, or a chord, is normally accompanying a melody. So you may have your song and the chords play, the chord is playing. Okay, so you've got your melody up here, singing away, da, 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 and you've got your harmony chords playing in the bass. So harmony would be when, for instance, 2 people are singing, or you may have 2 violins playing. One's got the high melody part, and the other one might be just doing some sort of counter melody or harmony underneath. They're 2 completely different things. So you've got the chords that we're talking about today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A chord in C major scale, if we were to talk about C chord, that would be based on C. C is number 1, first note, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? To form a chord, you need the first note, then the third, then the 5th. 1, 3, and 5. So, to make C chord, C is number 1, D would be 2, E would be 3, F's 4, G 5. 1, 3, and 5. If you use your fingers, it's first, middle finger, and little finger. Thumb, 3, 5. And there's C chord. Easy as that. Okay? C chord in the key of C major, or scale of C. Okay? The next chord that we do in the key of C is what is called the dominant chord. The C chord is called the tonic chord, and then we move to what's called the dominant, which is a fancy word for the 5th. So we count up 5 notes, C, D, E, F, G. You put your thumb on that note. Then you go 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5 is how you build a chord. 1 is the note you start on, then 3, boom, then 4, then 5. G, B, and D. There's G chord. Simple as that. So we've done C chord and G chord, G, B, D. C, E, G, C chord, G, B, D, G chord, tonic, C chord, dominant, G chord. The next chord that we do is what we call the subdominant chord. Hyphenated word, subdominant. Sub, if you can think of any words that start with sub, submarine. Submarine actually means below water. Marine being water, the marine environment. Sub means below. Subway, as in the train terminals underground, meaning below the normal way people travel. It's underground, it's sub, it's below. So subdominant, if the dominant is the fifth, which it is, okay, G chord, sub, what's below G? We go back. What's below 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's below 5? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you count 4 notes. We have F as our first note, the first one now. So we go 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. Now we have F chord. F, A, and C. Subdominant. Tonic chord, C, E, G, C chord. Dominant, G, B, D, G chord. Subdominant, F. F, A, C, F chord. And chords are as easy as that. Once you grasp how to build a chord, 1, 3, 5, 1 meaning the note that you start on. So if it is called G chord, G is 1. Then 3, 5. Okay, if it's F chord, F's 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over like that. F, A is the third, C is the fifth. And of course, going backwards down to the tonic, the first chord, C, number 1, E, and you build your chord up like that. C chord, G chord, F chord. So many songs are what people call in the music profession 3-chord wonders. There's thousands of songs, thousands, that are just simply 3 chords in the entire song. A lot of the Beatles music are just 3 chords. They enhance them a little bit by adding sevenths and sixths and minor sevenths and things like that. But essentially 3 chords, once you grasp the idea of 3 chords, just in the C major scale, you can then move it to other scales like we talked about last week with the scale and the tone, semitone and how they work. You can literally move them around all the different keys, and it's the same process of 1, 3, 1, 3, 5. Stepping up across here, you can also hear, that's the first chord, the tonic. Then we've just literally locked my fingers in a position there and just moved them up 1. We have a D minor chord. You can hear the tone is different. C major, which are really bright keys. Major, minor. It has quite a different tone, almost like a sad sort of sound to it. Then the next one, E minor. And then we're to our 4th chord, the F, subdominant. G chord, the dominant. The A minor chord. And then the 7th, which is almost like a diminished chord in a way. It's not one that we use a lot. And then of course you're back up to C again, but just C, G, an octave higher. So it literally moves up the keys. If you have a keyboard, you can sort of lock your fingers in that position, lift, because it's all just spaced apart. 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Okay. And that's how chords are formed. Those ones I've just played today are in the scale or the key of C major. So that is literally running from C up to the C. Like what we did last week with putting the two C's together to get the octave of C. So C, E, G, C chord, G, B, D, G chord, F, A, C is F chord. And really once you get used to playing or hearing those chords, over the octave of C, it just repeats itself because it's just a music pattern like the black keys, 2 black, 3 black, 2, 3, 2, 3. It's the same thing. C to C, then C to C, C to C, C to C, and going backwards. We've got C to C to C to C. And it's the same pattern over and over and over and over. So as I said before, once you grasp those chords and get used to how quickly they are, because it's not difficult. Once you go over it a few times and just memorize a few things, it's not really as difficult as you might think it is. And then once you go from there, putting the chords, you then make up a melody, a song, and then put the chords underneath that to fill that out with the harmony, the chord sound underneath the melody. And then that steps through to, if you've written words, a poem or something like that, it's a matter of then working out the words and, working out a song, a melody part to fit the words that you've written. Then, of course, with the chords underneath to support the melody and fill it all out. And that's it. You've got yourself a song. Easy as that.